Good evening from almost dusk here in Southern California, suburbs of LA. It's me, OG Big T here. I'm going to switch from my mug and over to the bike because I think that's what you guys want to see. You don't necessarily want to see my lovely face. Anyway, this is a bike I built the first of 2022, like January or so. It is a motorized bicycle. It is the bones of it is a Micargi Rover GX 26-inch beach cruiser. Came stock with coaster brakes, and that's about it. What I did is I bought the engine kit from gasbike.net. It's an 80cc. Somebody would say, why don't you put a 212 in there? It's like, well, sometimes I think I should have, because this thing, it rides well, has a decent top speed of almost 40 miles an hour, but it is a little bit anemic on hills or headwinds. Anyway, stock guts inside of it, and governor is there, and no valves, cams, and that stuff. What I did do is put, the air cleaner. I did put the 38 jet in a carb, and I have a header on it, which I'll show you later. But other than that, the engine is pretty stock. Has the standard, wide crank sets to clear mostly the engine and the CVT. That's like a CDH power crank set. I've got to do a little bit of maintenance to it because it's kind of loose. That's all right. I rode the thing about probably 200 or 300 miles, 15, 20, 25 miles at a clip. And she runs good. She really runs good. I'm running 2 brake levers. You can run 1 brake lever and have it control both the front and the back, but I like having the front and the back brakes, independent feel from each of my hands. Because I have 2 hands, so I figured 2 brake levers. Something I really liked that I did here was put the Springer front end. That is like a Monarch knockoff, and I think it's like Dan R or something. But it went on very easily. You have to watch it because I think this is a 1-inch head tube, a 1-inch head tube, and some of them are like 1 1/8 or vice versa. You have to put a space or it won't fit. But this one fit luckily on the first try. I didn't have to do any modifications to it. Went on very easily. The great thing about this is that you can put on either a caliper brake, which I'm not running, or a disc brake, which I am running. And so what I did is I got rid of the standard 26-inch hub that came with it, and from Bikeberry I got a 12-gauge spoke disc ready wheel, which really helps quite a bit. It doesn't stop on a dime, but stops on a nickel or what have you. Let's see. On this side too, I have a 30 series torque converter, and I had no problems with that. After, like I said, a few hundred miles, I haven't broken a belt or anything. Very little brake wear, or rather belt wear. There's the header. It's getting kind of rusty, so I better take it off and paint it, or I'm just not looking at it. Anyways, great thing here too is that kickstand. For any of these motorized bikes, especially these heavy ones, you got to get a good stand like that. Otherwise this thing will fall over because it's very heavy. Okay. One thing that people always talk about, or at least that I struggled with when I was going to put a torque converter on this thing, is getting the sprockets to line up, because it seems like if you don't know, you don't know. So this kind of torque converter, it's just a 30 series knockoff torque converter, but it has the sprocket on the outside there, way over here on the outside. Most mini bikes have them on the inside, or go-karts, and so you'll see this advertised sometimes as a death row. I don't know why, but a death row torque converter, and gasbike.net always showed them as out of stock, but I found it on eBay or something. If you guys need to know where I got any of the parts, let me know and I'll put them on there. Like I said, this thing only had coaster brakes, so what I did is, I hated doing it because I don't want to mar the frame up any more than I had to, but I drilled a hole so that I could put a brake on here. It's an old long reach BMX brake, whatever it is. Oh, a little rust there too. All right. Seat cover for my hind end, and I'm running a hub adapter that I got from Bikeberry, and this thing went on pretty easily too. It's pretty good. I was going to run the rag joints on there, but I had some clearance issues somewhere. I can't remember now because it's almost a year ago I built this, and so I went ahead and got that, and it runs very well. I've had no slippage, so it doesn't slip and go forward and tear up the spokes like you hear people say. At least that's not been my experience. Of course, then again, I'm running an 80cc engine. If I ran a 212 or something, it might be powerful enough to slip that thing. One thing I got to do, and I just got it in the mail today, is I got a new back wheel from Bikeberry with 12 gauge spokes, because you can't see it, but I've got a couple of spokes that are broken, and this isn't the first time. I think I broke about 4 spokes before, 6 spokes. Took the bike down to a local bike shop, you know, let them replace the spokes and true it up, but it's just too much weight, power, speed for this thing. And so what I went ahead and did, I just got it today, I'll show you guys, you know, sometime soon when I put it on, is the 12 gauge spoke wheel from Bikeberry. And that, I think that's going to be really good. I have the arch chain tensioner. I had this on the motor side, but I like to run, if I can, the chain on the motorized side without any chain tensioner. I like to put the proper chain tension, you know, on the driven side, and then because it has 2 chains and it's always hard for me to get them, you know, the right tension on both of them, is I'll put the arch chain tensioner on the bicycle side. But she's good. I call her Black Beauty. Black Beauty. Oh, one last thing too is that this is a standard tank that came with the gas bike kit, and because the frame is so tall, the clamps wouldn't fit on there, the brackets wouldn't fit on there, so I got some clamps. They're basically like electrical conduit pipe or whatever clamps that I got somewhere for probably paid more than I should have. But anyway, that's it. That's my Micargi 80cc bike, and she's running pretty good. And if you guys need any of the parts or anything like that, let me know and I will let you know what's up with it. All right, thank you for your time. Have a great day. Bye bye.